Hi, so here's a little, I'm not sure if it's a rant or just something I just wanted to get off my chest. But I've been coaching people all weekend this weekend, mostly with breakups and mostly with fears around dating. And I've been told so many times by so many of my colleagues in the industry, watch the film Dirty John, the series that's on Netflix. So I binge watched it yesterday evening when I got home, sort of about 1 this morning, and got up to about the 5th or 6th one, I can't quite remember. And the red flags for me were there from the beginning, but then, hey, I'm a coach and I'm a matchmaker, and I'd like to think that I could suss out red flags very quickly. But one of the things it made me realise is dating really sucks. It really does suck. And I bet you weren't expecting to hear that from a coach and a matchmaker. But, you know, if you're not equipped to deal with it and you are vulnerable, you're heartbroken from a previous relationship, then, and you go online and you expose yourself, you're going to meet some pretty unsavoury characters, not necessarily physically unsavoury, but you know, we come across those all the time, but emotionally unsavoury, and ones that really are not there for your good. They're there purely selfishly for themselves and are not looking for an equal relationship. And it's just become so apparent to me that more and more people who are in relationships are using online as an escape. And that escape is having a massive detrimental effect to people who are genuinely looking for love. And what I'm going to say to you is, from the moment you speak to someone, I made a client do this morning while we were in a session, and there was someone she'd been speaking to for just over a week now, was ready to go on a date with him, and she showed me the messages, and I thought, you know what, I think this guy's married. And I said this to her, I said, there's some things there that he's not opening up. I really feel he's married. No, she said to me, I'm sure he's not. Look at his profile. He says he's single and everything else. So anyway, I said to her, ask him outright if he's married. And after about 10 minutes, because it took 10 minutes for us to have a conversation and for her to build up the courage to ask something that should be a really easy question to ask, she messaged him, I just want to check that you're not married. And the answer came back, are you? Why? And it was really interesting because I made her go back and say, no, I'm single, but are you married? And finally he answered, and he said, it's complicated. I've been in a loveless marriage for 10 years. And anyway, after a further 10-15 minutes discussion, we finally got her to say goodbye and tell him why she was saying goodbye, and tell him that he had not been honest, and you know, he'd misrepresented himself, and if he'd been honest from the start, she wouldn't have been emotionally drawn to him. And then we were talking about this because she was pretty upset. She got very emotional about it and very angry about it, quite rightly so. And one of the things I'm going to say to all of you is, if you are dating online and you haven't got someone like me or another matchmaker actually vetting people and checking that they are genuinely who they say they are, just ask the question. Let that be one of the first questions you ask, so that you're not getting yourself too emotionally drawn into the process and ready to meet somebody, and then you feel really let down. It's a really difficult one, and it's happening more and more and more. And all I'm going to say to you is one question. Are you married? And there's a simple yes or no answer to that. And if someone shies away from it, then avoid, really avoid. There's lots of other things I'm going to bring you over the next coming weeks, other pitfalls for online. But if you are interested in working with a matchmaker or a coach and building your confidence up and finding different ways to date, healthy, constructive and dating consciously ways to date, then do get in touch, because I'd love to help you. Okay, bye-bye for now.